Let's kick this off. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the WebUnited webinar. This is where we're going to learn all about Web3 and one domain and twice the power. I'm your host here, helping this flow. We do have a Q&A box, so if anyone has any questions along the way, feel free to type your questions in there. We'll probably answer those towards the end, and whoever would like to answer that, we'll take those questions. We have a nice team here. I'm going to let Lars kick off with the introductions, and yeah, let's get going.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you all for being here today at our WebUnited webinar and taking time for that in this busy time of the year. So I will try to give you a bit of a background. Who is WebUnited? What are we doing? And what is coming next? As Kevin said, my name is Lars Jensen. I am the CEO of ShortDot and co-CEO of the fantastic company WebUnited. WebUnited is a joint venture between two companies. On the one side, it is Freename, Web3 domain name registrar with a team of fantastic blockchain experts. You will be meeting them later on in the webinar here today as well. And on the other side, ShortDot, domain name registry, which today manages 6 domain name extensions. And we work closely with many of you that are here in the webinar today. We, as ShortDot, about 2 years ago, decided that we wanted to move into the Web3 space. We saw huge potential, exciting technology, growing market, and therefore decided that. Around the same time, Freename decided to say they wanted to move into the Web2 space. And we met up and had several discussions. And actually, for the first time at the Nordic Domain Days in Stockholm, the two teams met. And it became clear quite fast that there was huge synergies between the two teams. And also that there was a huge opportunity for us to build together. So 2 years ago, we set out to do so. And this is what you will know as WebUnited today. I'm also very happy today to announce that KG Nielsen, that many of you know from the domain industry, has joined us just today officially as VP of Business Development in WebUnited. And KG will be reaching out to many of you the next coming weeks that are here in this webinar. So a big welcome on board to you, Katie. So a bit back to what are we doing at WebUnited? Well, we are building a bridge between Web2 and Web3. With other words, you could say we are giving the superpowers of Web3 to the Web2 domain names. We have applied the business logics and policies. I'll get a little bit more into that a little bit later. Not too much, but just a little bit. Business logics and also technology logics and standards that most of us on this webinar here today know from the Web2 space. Paolo and Davide, my dear colleagues from Freename, will get more into details on that later as well. To touch a little bit more on the policy part, this has been and still is a big topic in the Web2 and the Web3 space. And it is very interesting. We have taken a very simple approach to it, where we said, okay, we are doing it like this. If you today have a Web2 domain name, you can get that mirrored on the blockchain. Meaning, if I today own or newly registered my last.bond, for example, then I can now, at my registrar where I have my last.bond, order a mirroring on that on the blockchain. And this solves, if you start thinking about that, that solves many problems. Because we, with that, apply exactly the Web2 policies. We are working, we've said that in other events as well. We are working with authorities, organizations, communities from the Web2 space. And we've been doing that over the last 2 years to create these policies. And we will follow that. They have proven to have been great, worked, and still are. And we have many people with a lot of experiences that have helped us create these. And we will continue to work with the community. And we are very open to input and suggestions as well. So this means that that kind of takes us to where are we today as WebUnited? Well, we have a backend that we've been building on very skilled people have been building that, not me, been building a fantastic backend that has applied many of the Web2 principles. Paolo, our CTO, will show you that later as well. And we have tested that. We have API documentation in place and so forth. And of course, we spent many hours and a lot of resources on testing that as well. And we have also been so lucky that we have gotten the first big registrar live with DomainCostClub. Paul from DomainCostClub is also here in the webinar today. And we will show you later how that integration has worked. So we are now at a stage where we are actually full operating and live. You see that as well. And we are now welcoming registrars on board. What are we offering the registrars? As I said, we are offering them API access. We are only working, that's an important point to point out, we are only working through resellers. So we do not have any retail business. We will only work through partnerships. And we have the API documentation. We're happy to share that as well. As I said, Katie will reach out to you and you can reach out to her as well to get these documents as well. We have a test environment for this as well. And we will not only provide technical support to you, we will also provide marketing support. Many of you that works with us already knows that we really like to join in when it comes to the marketing. And we will provide you with marketing content, marketing campaigns, client identification, leads, and so on as well. And for my last part, what is also, we want to look a little bit into, okay, so we're providing this to you, but we also have look a bit at the market here. The market is a big opportunity. We see fantastic growth in the Web3 space. Today, we have around 360 million domain names registered, and we have more than 600 million cryptocurrency users and growing with around 270,000 new users every day. We see this as a great opportunity for, I would say, us Web2 operators to now grab users from the Web3 space and offer them the traditional Web2 technology, but with the capabilities of the Web3. And at the same time, we see it as a huge opportunity for Web2 service providers, registries and registrars to do a fantastic upsell to our existing clients. So all our existing clients, domain name holders, can now get a mirroring and get the functionality of the blockchain onto their traditional Web2 domain. Again, as I said, we will help you with this process. Also, we also believe strongly that this will help you to create more customer retention, because the more functionality we put onto the Web2 domain, the longer the customer retention, but also the fact that this will lead Web2 domains to be able to do digital asset transactions. We'll get into that later again. So that for sure also will lead to bigger customer retention. So this was actually my part of this. I will now leave the word over to Davide, my fantastic colleague and co-CEO of WebUnited. So thank you all for taking the time listening to me. And as Kevin said, we will be answering questions later on.
Thank you very much, Lars, and welcome and nice to meet you all. I recognized a few of you that we already met. Now, what is left to show you? Real life cases of how to utilize, create a mirror domain from Web2 to Web3 with DomainCostClub. So let's get to the live example here. Let me share you my screen. One second. Perfect. Confirm that you can see. That's magnific. So I'm in DomainCostClub. I don't see the screen on Zoom, but I see that Lars confirmed that you can all see. And this is my account. So I can go into my account. I can check the domains that I've just bought. So layer1.ws, for example. And it's enabled Web3. And this is live. Now we will also buy a new domain, and let's see how the process works. I just wanted to show before that we have Web3 settings where I can put all of my wallets here, every chain, every coin. I can set my Web3 email with Ethermail or MailChain. And I can build my Web3 website, for example, with WebHash on IPFS, or with traditional DNS website builder that then give me a record day I can mint on chain. So let's do a trial. Let's buy this is a nice webinar.ws. Web 2 and Web 3. I want this, so I will buy it. Add it to cart, and instantly when I buy, this will be automatically minted in my cart. Wonderful. Now, we know that minting might take few minutes. So this is a nice webinar. Let me go and see. It's still processing. And this is normal on Polygon. Today, we see that it's, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, up to 5 minutes to be mint. But now I want to do a payment to, I think we can pay mirroring.ws. Let's see if we retrieve a wallet on chain. Perfect, on Polygon. And I want to send 0.6 just to change from previous settings. 0.6 Matic to mirroring.ws. So what is happening here is that we recognize the records on chain that you saved on your mirroring.ws, and we just fetch this from chain and we match with the few functions. So I'm doing a transaction, it connects to my MetaMask. Everything is correct, yes. So I just need to confirm a payment. And let's see, done, I've paid. Let's check. This is not a back office something, this is a live transaction on the Polygon scan, and it will take a few seconds, 15 seconds to be completed. From my wallet to the wallet. Actually, it's completed while we were speaking. Confirmed, block status, success. We just paid a WS domain from another WS domain. Fantastic. The same speed. Let's see if this is minted. The same speed I have into, oh yes, now it's minted. I can also pay, this is a nice webinar.ws. I can also, as said before, do other type of payment. I want to pay in Bitcoin Cash, in BNB, I can do that. Web3 email the same, I get redirected to the provider, let's do with Ethermail, and when you create an account with Ethermail, your WS domain will work also with the centralized emails. Likewise for website builder. You go to WebHash and you build a fully decentralized website. It's amazing. So this is fast because it's very easy to manage your domains on chain, thanks to DomainCostClub and integration. Now, you're all wondering, how do I set up this from my backend? How do I attach the APIs? And I leave this part to my dear colleague and our amazing CTO, Paolo.
Thank you, Davide. Thank you all for joining to this webinar. I will share now on my side. So first of all, what is WebUnited? Technically, it's a fully fledged set of APIs that we provide to our partners. And these APIs are based on the paradigm machine-to-machine, meaning that you will not call these APIs from a browser, but of course from a backend, from your backend. API calls are all documented. We have APIs for minting, for managing records, etc. Here is an example of the documentation that your developers may easily use to integrate a client for these APIs. But also it is very important that we provide some business logic, basic concepts and paradigms that are very important. First of all, the registrar is always in control. The APIs provide endpoints to control the life cycle of the domain as it happens in the Web2 world on-chain, on the Web3 part. And we may see that all the important life cycle steps of the life of a domain are implemented. So we may create domains, transfer domain, manage renewals, and of course, delete domains. There are also explanations concerning ownership changes, how registrar can interact between themselves using the APIs to perform transfers, for example. This is the core software that is provided to register for WebUnited, but we also have a utility, an instrumentation that we provide to registrar, which is called the REBA. It's an admin panel where everything that you can do through APIs can be managed manually by your technicians inside this platform. So we may manage registration information, of course. We can also manage resolution information. Here we see an example with mirroring.ws domain. So this is actually an admin panel where you can also create domains. So you will put your registrant wallet address or registrar wallet address, choose the chain, and assign a registration date. Of course, we can manage other things. For example, we can also manage transfers and renewal policies that can be mirrored from your policy that you already have in your business logic. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, I will take back over. And I think we're moving on to Paul.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Apanowitz. I'm the Director of Project Management for the .ws registry and DomainCostClub. I've worked for the parent company, Global Domains International Incorporated, for almost 20 years. A quick history of our company, because I think it shows as a registry and registrar why you might want to integrate with WebUnited and Web3 domains. Basically, as a registry, we all know we're looking for ways to increase registrations while keeping the renewal rate on existing domains high. To do so with .ws in the past, we were one of the first to brand a ccTLD registry, .ws as website or world site, and we're also the first to allow emoji domains. So we're always up for something new in the web space. Around 2015, we saw that there were going to be hundreds of new TLDs being released, and we decided to launch DomainCostClub. We'd been accredited with ICANN for years for common net, so we could offer those alongside .ws. Our spin for the registrar model was going to be you buy a yearly club membership, kind of like Costco, and then you can register standard and premium domains at cost with no registrar markup. As a registrar, you're looking for digital products that can go with domains to increase your revenue. Things like site builders, email, hosting, SSL certs, items that benefit the customer and promote actual domain usage. Those are always hard to find. Being both a registry and a registrar, we were a good potential partner for WebUnited. We've been around 25 years. in the Web2 space managing .ws. And admittedly, we're very new to Web3, but we're not new to the idea of innovation and new technologies. When we heard about the ability to mirror existing Web2 domains to the Web3 blockchain, and that you would be able to store crypto wallet addresses with your Web3 domains, we were sold. We knew customers would want it, so we wanted to offer it as soon as possible. Our integration went pretty smoothly, considering we were the first to connect with WebUnited. I'm not sure if I've seen other people doing this yet or not. I know there's more possibilities for Web3, but from our novice perspective, tying a Web2 domain to a crypto wallet was enough for us. Giving customers more ways to really use their domains is the best way to increase revenue, and retention goes right along with that naturally with domain usage. As far as different types of domain products and services go, what could be better than one that bridges the existing Web2 with the new Web3 technology? We see Web3 domains as a great addition to the Web2 space, or because it makes your domain acceptable now as well as into the future. If you have any ideas or usage in the domain, the DCC dashboard that we don't have implemented, we're very interested to hear what's possible. Thank you.
Awesome. And I believe we're moving over to Julian now.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Hello, everyone. My name is Julien Pajot. I am the managing partner of Sparkle Ventures, which we are VC fund managers, and we invest across 3 types of technologies: blockchain, artificial intelligence, and virtualization technologies. Tonight, I mean, here at least this morning or this afternoon, depending where you are, the idea is to take a bit of, a step back in order to understand what is at stake with Web3 and what has happened recently to see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency to become popular. I think the analysis, which is interesting, is to understand how the different attitude, the different behaviors we can see depending on generation you belong to. Myself, I'm 45. My parents, they are baby boomers. They started to work. They started to work very early, and as soon as they started to work, they started to make saving. On my side, it's been a bit different. I've been obliged to wait a few years before to do some savings in order to have a certain financial situation, and so on and so on. And the new generation, which is what we name the Generation Z, and sometimes we name the decentralized generation, is probably a generation that is going to have a life which is going to be, or they are going probably to be poorer than their own parents. And the situation is very, very true when you look at the price of the assets. And so what we mean by that is that the traditional services and the way the internet is working and the way people are interacting, all of that has been built up by people like us. The subsequent generation, they have an immediate financial pressure. And for that reason, they have also different way of behaving, different way of consuming, investing, and socializing. We can go to the next slide, please. Excuse me. Here it's an illustration. So there's a lot of information on that slide. If we look at the bottom left, the attitude for investing or the way that people access advice are different for younger generation, and that we can look at different metrics for that. For example, the first social media is a place number 1 for millennials. 75% of them, they use them. When you look at the last generation, Gen Z, it's even more than 90%. where at the opposite, when we ask them about having access to investment information and advisory, it's only one third of them. Clearly, we see a very different attitude to this generation is born with a mobile phone. I remember, and I will mention that when I had my first computer, it was in 1997. I had one computer at home, a desktop. I had one GSM and one Palm Pilot, which was the one in order to take notes. We were in a very fragmented market. And I will make the analogy between this period of time and what we're experiencing now in terms of web service. Bank of America made a private study in order to understand also the behavior of the customers. And most of the new generation, so the one which are aged between 20 and 40, if we go wide, think that they will never be able to get a return, an average return, which is going to be, a decent return based on stock investments. They also have a different type of allocation. I mean, they invest 25% in stocks, while they consider digital alternative and other alternative. That was 16%, sorry, in 2021. I suppose if we're doing the same analysis now, it will be certainly more than 50%. So very rapidly on the right-hand side charts, what they are looking for, the new generation is looking for a way to socialize and to invest socializing. That's why we named the communal on the top of the chart. They want also to benefit from a bit of gamification, the way they are allocating. There is some gamification across programmability of the assets or ability to benefit from a certain different usage of the assets. They want their investment to be reward driven and very participatory. Of course, impact is very important for them. So that's just an illustration by the investment about the behavior of the new generation. And why am I saying all of that? Is because behind Web3, there is a new wave, and this wave is coming from this new generation. And they consider decentralization as a way for them to escape from this financial pressure and an ability for them to invest into new type of assets where they can benefit from return, which is higher, higher than the one they can expect from the traditional assets. And web domain, they fall now in this category. So some people have created domain name on chain. And what we need to say, that has created a vacuum, which means that some people now are filling this gap with issuing names on chain and starting to build up services. So the opportunity for all of us is a defensive opportunity, which is we own business which are related to Web2 domain. And so we have an opportunity to protect and to benefit from this new trend in turning Web2 domain name in Web3 domain name. Also, another defensive way to consider the domain name industry, and particularly Web3, is to consider the risk when we name censorship and security. That's sometimes people are going to say it's a bit an abuse to consider that is a real it's a real issue, but it has been in the past some issues. And I would say, generally speaking, the more you have of information to analyze and information to consider to access to a service, the higher the risk is. And which is true with Web3 domain is you simplify as well the experience, reducing also the number of information and also the path for the user to access to the service. Number 3, which is more an offensive way, I'm used to say regarding domain name and the domain industry, is the ability to simplify the experience of the user. Davide, during the demonstration, has illustrated how you can access to a wallet and access to some service, issuing emails, having access to consumer services, using simply the web domain. This is the SLD. This is a simplified digital identity, And that's, of course, open a new spectrum of experience. And so, number 4, a new spectrum of utility and revenue model. As I mentioned earlier about the fragmented market back in the 90s regarding the devices, the experience, we still have a similar situation now regarding the fact that we have email. So I think the number of email accounts in the world is greater than 7.9 billion. We all use payment providers. There are multiple depending on the nature of the bank we are using, the nature of the website we are paying with, so accessing the technology from the website, and so on and so on. And here we think there is a great opportunity to access new utility with Web3 domain, and also to generate a new revenue model and additional revenues. And if we want to compare the metrics, when you looked at the number of, registered domain names, this rounded figure is about 365 million, compared to more than 600 million wallets. But if we, in addition, consider that in this fragmented market, we are going to simplify the experience of the user. So we use a mobile phone number for instant messaging. We use Handle to get access instant messaging with Signal, instant messaging with Telegram. We use an email in order to access to information which are more with wider content, or and so on and so on. And so I think the number of instant messaging accounts should be around 5.6 billion. So there is clearly an opportunity to see a simplification of this ecosystem, and so aggregation of value across the board toward the Web3 domain name. So I think this is the way to consider the opportunity between Web2 and Web3, defensive way and offensive way, with many opportunity coming in. I don't have anything else to say.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Julian.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So we have a few questions from the audience here. The first one, I think this is probably best answered by you, Lars. Is this integration available only with .ws, or are there other extensions where you can use it?
That's a great question. Thank you very much. We forgot to mention that. And this is across any extension, this integration can be done. Simple answer, but that's how it is.
Okay. The next one, I think this is probably Davide or Paolo. Can you give us a little bit more information about the life cycle of one of these Web3 domains? Is it different than a traditional Web2? Do they mirror each other? How are they working together?
Absolutely. And also this, it's quite fast to reply. The Web3 mirrored version of a DNS domain just follow the DNS domain lifecycle. So it renews when the mother asset renews. It expires when the DNS asset expires.
Okay. I think that is most of our questions there. If anyone else has anything before we end, we got one more here. How does your offering differ from other Web2, Web3 offerings that are out there in the market? Davide, that's probably going your way.
Yes. So as you saw, integration is quite easy. And what we saw in the market is that we are live. You can take our API. You don't need to pay any upfront cost. It takes very short time to integrate. Paul can confirm that. And you can then attach all of the upsell features that you want. We saw website, we saw emails, we saw payment. So what we furnish and what others don't furnish, it's an infrastructure that you as a registrar or registry can integrate and model upon your client wishes and utilities, and model also upon your own revenue stream wishes. I think we are the only one to offer such environment, to offer an environment that is coherent with the policies already in Web2, and to offer it plug and play. You can just take the APIs, contact us, we open Sandbox, you go live after a week, you're ready to make your clients happy. Last things, it's multi-chain, so you can choose which chain to adopt. We don't want to restrict you to utilize any specific chain. We can tell what is, on our opinion, the best, the cheapest, the fastest. But in the example of Ethereum, now the fees are low, but there were also periods in which fees were costing more than a domain. So you would then restrict your users. Then it's better to go on Polygon, as we see the examples. But these also give you freedom to adapt to every market in Web3 market and cost-wise needs.
Okay. I think that was a very, very well crafted answer there. I think that was a good explanation. Thanks, Davide. If anyone else has any final closing remarks, if not, I think we just want to say thank you to everyone for joining. These slides will be available and this recording will be available if you want to share this with any of your colleagues or friends or family around the holidays. This could be fun holiday watching. If no one has anything, then I think we're all set. And again, thanks for showing up, and we look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
everyone.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.